My niece snatched my son's new phone right out of his hands during Sunday dinner at my parents' house. Emma, only 12 years old, held it up like a trophy while my 7-year-old son, Daniel, stood frozen in shock, his face crumpling as he tried not to cry in front of everyone. Mom says poor kids don't need expensive things, Emma announced loudly enough for everyone at the table to hear. The conversation around us died instantly. She examined the phone with exaggerated interest, turning it over in her hands like she was inspecting something she owned. This is way too nice for someone like Daniel. He probably doesn't even know how to use all the features. My sister Jennifer laughed from across the table, not even bothering to correct her daughter. She's not wrong, honestly. Your kids do seem to have too much lately. She took a sip of wine, her rings catching the light, designer labels visible on everything she wore. Especially considering your situation. I mean, how are you even affording these things? I felt Daniel's hand grip my arm, his eyes welling up with tears. My daughter Sophie, 9 years old, had stopped eating and was staring at her plate, her shoulders hunched like she wanted to disappear. The entire family had gone quiet, waiting to see how I would respond. My brother looked uncomfortable but said nothing. My parents exchanged glances but stayed silent. Emma, please give Daniel his phone back, I said calmly, keeping my voice level. Why? Jennifer interjected before Emma could respond. Maybe it's a good lesson for him. Not everyone gets to have the latest iPhone, especially when their parents are barely making ends meet. My father cleared his throat uncomfortably. My mother suddenly became very interested in her mashed potatoes. No one defended me. No one questioned Jennifer's assessment of my financial situation. I had been paying Jennifer's mortgage for 3 years. Every month, without fail, $2,000 transferred from my account to hers on the first of the month. He didn't know. She thought our late grandmother's trust fund was still somehow covering it, some magical account that never ran dry. I had let her believe that lie because family was supposed to help family quietly, without expectations or recognition. But that was just the mortgage. There were other things too. The car payment on her luxury SUV, the one she claimed was essential for her image as a boutique owner. The private school tuition for Emma and her younger brother Tyler, because public school wasn't appropriate for their social development. The credit card I had paid off twice when her business expenses got out of control after buying too much inventory that didn't sell. Jennifer's boutique clothing store had been hemorrhaging money for 2 years, but somehow she always seemed to stay afloat, never questioning how the bills kept getting paid. Jennifer, that's enough, I said quietly. Emma, the phone. Now. Emma looked at her mother, who shrugged. Let her have it back, him. We can't help that some people don't understand financial responsibility. The phone clattered onto the table. Daniel grabbed it quickly, checking for scratches. I put my arm around both my children and stood up. We're going to head out early tonight, I announced. The kids have school tomorrow. Oh, come on, Jennifer said, rolling her eyes. Don't be so sensitive. I'm just being honest. You've always been too proud to admit when you're struggling. I smiled. Actually smiled. Because in that moment I made a decision. You're absolutely right, I told her. I should be more honest about my financial situation. The drive home was quiet. Daniel held his phone protectively in his lap. Sophie kept looking at me with worried eyes. Mom, are we poor? Sophie finally asked as I pulled into our driveway. No, sweetheart. We're not poor. Then why did Aunt Jennifer say that? I parked the car and turned to face both of them. Sometimes people don't know the whole story. But that's going to change soon. That night, after the kids were in bed, I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop and my phone. I opened my banking app and looked at the scheduled transfers. There were 5 of them, all going to Jennifer or accounts in her name. Mortgage, $2,000 monthly. Car payment, $650 monthly. Private school tuition, $1,500 monthly. Store lease, $2,800 monthly. Emergency fund, $500 monthly. $7,450 every single month for 3 years. That was $268,200. Over $250,000. I had been able to do it because my small software company had been acquired by a larger tech firm 2 years ago. I had stayed on as a senior director and my salary was comfortable. Very comfortable. But I had never told my family about the acquisition or my position. I drove a modest car, lived in a normal house, and dressed simply, old habits from growing up without much money. Jennifer, on the other hand, had married a man from a wealthy family. When he left her 4 years ago, she got the house but not the lifestyle money. Her boutique was supposed to be her fresh start, her independence. Instead, it became a money pit that she refused to close because of pride. I clicked on each transfer and selected Cancel Recurring Payment. Then I drafted an email to my bank's private client services. Please cancel all scheduled transfers to Jennifer Morrison accounts effective immediately. No exceptions, no extensions. Confirmed. I hit send at 11:42 on Sunday night. Monday morning arrived with texts from Jennifer. Casual ones. A funny meme. A complaint about Emma's math homework. Nothing unusual. Tuesday, the first mortgage payment bounced. Jennifer wouldn't know yet. Those notifications took a few days. Wednesday, I took the kids to their favorite pizza place after school. Daniel had been quiet since Sunday, still hurt by Emma's words. I ordered extra breadsticks and let them get dessert. Can I ask you something? Daniel said, picking at his pizza crust. Always. Why doesn't Aunt Jennifer like us? Sophie looked up, waiting for my answer. It's complicated, buddy. Sometimes adults have problems that have nothing to do with kids, but kids get caught in the middle anyway. That's not fair, Sophie said firmly. No, I agreed. It's not. Thursday morning my phone rang. Jennifer. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Then texted. Call me. Important. I waited until my lunch break to call back. Finally, Jennifer snapped when she answered. Do you know what just happened? The mortgage company called. They said my payment didn't go through. The trust fund account apparently doesn't exist. Do you know anything about this? What trust fund account? I asked, keeping my voice neutral. Grandma's trust. The one that's been paying my mortgage since Mark left. Jennifer, Grandma's trust fund was divided between us 4 years ago. You got $40,000. You spent it on the store's initial inventory. Silence. Long, heavy silence. That's not possible, she said finally. The mortgage has been paid automatically for years. Then maybe you should check your bank statements and see where the money's actually been coming from. What are you talking about? I'm talking about being honest about financial situations. Like you said I should be on Sunday. I could hear her breathing change. What did you do? I stopped being poor, I said simply. And I stopped making you rich. Check your accounts, Jennifer. All of them. The car payment bounced too. And the school tuition. And your store lease. You. Her voice went up an octave. You've been paying my mortgage? And your car. And Emma and Tyler's school. And your boutique rent. And your emergency fund. $7,450 a month for 3 years. That's not, you can't afford. I couldn't afford it, I corrected. If I was barely making ends meet like you told everyone. But I'm not poor, Jennifer. I never was. I just let you think I was because it seemed easier than explaining where my money actually came from. Your software company, she said slowly. The acquisition. Oh my God, that was real. I had mentioned it once 2 years ago at a family dinner. Jennifer had laughed and said I was exaggerating, that small companies like mine didn't get acquired for real money. Everyone had agreed with her. I hadn't brought it up again. Very real, I confirmed. Real enough to pay your bills for 3 years while you insulted my children and told everyone I was struggling. I didn't mean. Emma was just being a kid. Emma was repeating what you told her. That poor kids don't need expensive things, that my kids have too much, that I don't understand financial responsibility. I'll talk to her. I'll make her apologize. The damage is done, Jennifer. And the money is stopped. All of it. Permanently. You can't do this. The mortgage is due in 5 days. The school payment already bounced. My store lease. Not my problem anymore. Mom and Dad will never forgive you for this. Abandoning family. Actually laughed. Abandoning family? I spent $268,000 keeping your life afloat while you mocked my children. That's not abandonment. That's 3 years of quiet sacrifice that you mistook for weakness. 200. She couldn't finish the sentence. $268,200. I have the bank statements. Every transfer, every payment, every time I covered your emergencies. All documented. I need that money, she said, and her voice had changed. The superiority was gone. My credit cards are maxed. The store isn't profitable. I can't lose the house. Then maybe it's time to make some changes. Sell the store. Downsize the house. Switch the kids to public school. You know, all the things you assumed I was already doing because I was supposedly so poor. This is cruel. No, I said firmly. Cruel is teaching your daughter that some children deserve less because of their economic status. Cruel is publicly humiliating your nephew over a phone. Cruel is letting your entire family believe I'm failing while you live off my success. I'm not being cruel. I'm being honest. Finally. She hung up. Within an hour my mother called. Jennifer says you've cut her off financially. Please tell me that's not true. It's completely true. But she'll lose everything, the house, the kids' school. She'll figure it out. She's a grown woman with a business degree. When did you become so heartless? I'm not heartless, Mom. I'm just done being everyone's silent bank account while being treated like their charity case. My father called that evening. Your sister's family. We help family. I did help. For 3 years. Quietly. Consistently. Until she decided to teach her children that my children are less deserving because we're supposedly poor. That's where my help ends. You're making a mistake, he warned. The only mistake I made was not telling everyone the truth 3 years ago. Friday afternoon, Jennifer showed up at my office. The receptionist called my extension, sounding apologetic. Your sister's here. She says it's urgent. I went downstairs. Jennifer was in the lobby and she looked different. No designer bag. No perfect makeup. She looked tired. Can we talk? She asked. Please. We went to the coffee shop next door. She ordered water, just water. I checked the bank statements, she said quietly. All of them. You've been paying for everything. But I genuinely thought Grandma had set up some kind of long-term trust. I never questioned it. You never asked. You just assumed you deserved it. I know. And on Sunday I was awful. Emma was awful. I've been teaching her terrible things without even realizing it. You realized it. You just didn't care because you thought you were better than me. She flinched. You're right. I thought I was better. My marriage, my store, my life. Even after Mark left and everything fell apart, I still acted like I was superior, like I had it all figured out. And now I'm terrified. The mortgage company gave me 30 days. The school wants the full semester payment or Emma and Tyler are out. The lease on the store is up for renewal, and the landlord wants 3 months' rent in advance. So sell the store. Refinance the house. Make changes. I can't sell the store. It's all I have. It's a failing business that's been bleeding money for 2 years. It's not all you have. It's an anchor around your neck. She stared at her water glass. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to start over. The same way I did when I started my software company. The same way I did after my divorce. You figure it out because you have to. Can I ask you something? She looked up at me. Why did you help me for so long if you knew I looked down on you? I thought about that for a moment. Because I hoped you'd eventually see that family wasn't about who had more money or a better house or a successful marriage. I hoped you'd realize that quiet support meant more than loud superiority. I was wrong. You weren't wrong, she said softly. I was just too stupid and proud to see it. So now you see it. What changes? Everything, she said. Everything has to change, starting with a real apology to Daniel and Sophie. They deserve that. But Jennifer, I'm not turning the money back on. That part is permanent. I understand. I don't deserve it anyway. I never did. We sat in silence for a while. The coffee shop bustled around us, but at our small table, everything was quiet. For what it's worth, Jennifer finally said, I'm sorry. For Sunday, for the last 3 years, for all of it. And I know sorry doesn't pay a mortgage. No, I agreed. It doesn't. But it's a start. She nodded and stood up. I should go. I have a lot to figure out. I watched her leave, walking to her expensive SUV that she wouldn't be able to afford much longer. My phone buzzed with a text from Daniel. Is Aunt Jennifer still mad at us? I typed back quickly. No, buddy. Everything's going to be okay. And for the first time in 3 years, I actually believed that was true.